So tonight I watched a film noir starring Rita Hayworth and Glenn Ford. It was also produced by Rita Hayworth. It was from a story by Virginia Van Up and Bern Giller, screenplay by Bern Giller and James Gunn. It was also edited by Viola Lawrence. So there's a lot of women involved in this. Rita Hayworth, Viola Lawrence, and Virginia Van Up for sure were very important in the creating of this story. It was sort of billed as Rita Hayworth's comeback after being gone from Columbia for a while. She teams up with her Gilda co-star Glenn Ford, aka Man's Man, one of my favorite leading men. He's so tough, so pretty. So Rita Hayworth is an American living in Trinidad. She's a calypso singer in a nightclub, as you do, when her husband commits suicide. Or does he? He may have been murdered. So the British cops, because it's a British colony, enlist Rita Hayworth, and by enlist I mean they take her passport and force her to investigate because a rich dude has a crush on her and probably was involved in the murder of her husband. What then unfolds is an amazing Cold War noir, with like people trying to destroy America and scientists with accents and all that, pro-American, anti-foreigner stuff you come to know and love from the Cold War. Thrown into the mix is Glenn Ford as her late husband's brother, who got a letter from her husband, what it turns out, on the day he died, asking him to come visit and maybe he has a job for him. And so then, but they can't tell Glenn Ford what's happening, so he goes around and messes things up. I don't know why they can't tell him what's happening. It doesn't really make sense to me, other than to create tension for Ms. Rita Hayworth. And obviously there's some sexual tension there because it's Glenn Ford and Rita Hayworth, regardless of the fact that she was at one point married to his brother. It's a little creepy, but they're in a British colony, so England does that. And actually, I've seen a couple of westerns where the husband was killed in the army and or by Indians, and then the brother marries the widowed wife. That's the thing. So, okay. Also in the mix is the only Juanita Moore, probably best known today for Imitation of Life, for which she was nominated for an Oscar. She's amazing. She's got a great screen presence. She's sort of limited in what she's allowed to do because she's sort of a servant in this, and they make her talk in this really weird stilted English that I honestly don't think a woman growing up in Trinidad would sound like. She'd have a Trinidadian accent, not this weird stilted English, but I guess they couldn't find someone from Trinidad to come and show her the accent, and they were like, oh, just talk stilted, that's close enough, 1952, what are you going to do? But they have a bunch of actual foreign people playing the foreign people, so that's good, and some scenery-chewing goodness from Valerie Bettis as the wife of one of the evil scientists. It's a lot of preposterous stuff, 2 really great numbers from Rita Hayworth, some sexual tension to die for, and some jaw-dropping cinematography by Joseph Walker. This is a great film. I highly recommend it. 1952's affair in Trinidad, directed by Vincent Sherman. It's on YouTube. You can rent it for $3. I highly recommend it. Everyone involved was at the top of their game. I really enjoyed it. There is one unfortunate scene where Glenn Ford slaps Rita Hayworth, and it's hard to watch as a modern audience because you're like, maybe don't slap women in front of everybody, or don't slap women at all. But he's a tough dude. He's gotta slap somebody. Anyways, Cold War film noir at its best. Affair in Trinidad. Rent it, enjoy it, live it, drink some bourbon.